Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today's the day we're going to start breaking down the body of the Super Gaucho. Basically what we got to do is get this looking pretty. You can see the sun fade, the stickers are in bad shape. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to tear this completely down. The tools we're going to use for this is a heat gun. We have a corded one, we also have cordless, but it doesn't quite have the oomph of the corded one. So we're gonna take off all the parts that we can, and then any emblems and body trim pieces, and get these stickers off. And if there's any sticky residue, normally I use WD-40, but on this, since we're painting it, we do not want to put WD-40 on here. So if you guys are pulling off stickers and you get the heat gun and it tears, what you're going to want to use is like some acetone or some denatured alcohol. Wipe it on there, it'll evaporate, and it'll give you a nice clean surface. And after that, because you know how paint is, it's always with the prep, right? So we're going to scuff the body with a maroon Scotch-Brite pad. And what we're going to do after that is we're going to do some Rust-Oleum 2X. It has a adhesion promoter and a flex agent in there. It's the proper paint to use on this polypropylene type plastic. And I got to give you an update on the parts because this thing was pretty abused. So I was just going to be lazy and order new parts, and I am shocked that Peg Perigo has really not been up to date on replacement parts. So you can still get some, but most of the stuff, like even like the hood latches, you can't even get. These I could get. Headlight lenses, like these things are baked. I think it was December 15th was the projection date. And then I've got to figure out what I'm going to do for the bumper. The front bumper, not available. The roll bar was available, but it was like 60 bucks. So I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to rob parts from the old catch 'em all fishing Gaucho. We filled the tires up with foam and made this thing float on water, and he had like a fishing little rig to it. We never really got the steering figured out, but now we're probably going to do 4-wheel drive and a plow on it, make something cool out of it. But yeah, the front bumper, guys. So what should we do? Should we rob the front bumper and the roll bar? Or should we go with like a straight piece of metal? Should we use this Power Wheels Nerf bar type bumper? I don't quite know yet, guys. I'm actually leaning towards the Power Wheels bumper. I think it has a pretty cool look to it. But anyways, guys, I'm going to get working on this, so stay tuned. So you can see all that sticky stuff I was talking about. Could be a real pain in the butt. So let's get some acetone and get that stuff off. There you go. All of it off. Basically this area is ready to get scuffed and blended in. So let's keep going and get this body apart. Okay, so this is worth pointing out to you guys is if you're trying to get these top hood latches off, so underneath there's actually a screw that I already removed that, but I figured, hey, I'm going to help these people. So what you got to do is you got to remove that screw, and there's a body tab that you got to kind of slide to the side. And then once you have that screw out, you can pull this out, and you need to pinch it on the outside with needle nose pliers, and then that tab will come right out. You see that slides right in, and pressure just keeps it in. Just tried to escape, you see that? So I got one more to get out, and all I'm gonna do now is take off the rest of the decals, wipe it down, and start scuffing. Alright guys, that's all that's left of the decals. So it took about 10 minutes of elbow grease, but that is the body with decals delete. And then over here I've got all of the parts laid out. So these are going to be body color. Front grille, A-pillar, whatever you want to call it, the hood, that's going to be the body color, which is still undecided. And then those parts in the back, those are not getting painted. Gauges and like fender flares, they'll just be like armor all, get them back to shiny. And then these parts in the middle, these are going to be a flat black. It's going to have a nice offset with the body color. And I have replacement side pipes, but I actually think they're kind of cheesy, so I think I'm going to delete side pipes. Both the rear hubcaps are trashed, like super brittle. Luckily I have two replacements. Unfortunately they are front wheels, so I'm gonna have to drill it out to the 3/4 inch. But hey, at least I'm going to be able to have replacement ones that aren't beat up, because I want this to look nice. But so I've got the body, I've got the subframe right here. So the next step is for me to give these both a good bath and come back in, and we're gonna Scotch-Brite it and then give it another bath in Dawn, and then comes primer. So I'm not gonna show me cleaning because it's a real pain in the butt and you don't want to see my, you know, my dad bod. But the next video is gonna be prepping for paint. Probably. Okay guys, all the body parts are sanded and ready for paint, and wanted to go over some of the stuff. So the hood itself was way more baked than I thought. So it's not going to be perfect. I'm not going to stress about this. This isn't like this is going to SEMA. It's a kid's ride on, but there's definitely some scratches, and worst case scenario, if it's terrible, yeah, I can get a new hood and just paint it to match. And this is the paint, guys. This is the color we're going with. So it's a Rust-Oleum 2X, and it's called Sage Green. I highly recommend, if you want gloss, just buy gloss paint. Don't try adding a clear coat on it. You're going to get orange peel unless you're doing things exactly right. And it's also a pain in the butt if you want to touch up, because guess what? Kids are going to crash into stuff. Hopefully it's not your nice car. But if you want it glossy, just buy gloss paint. It's already in the aerosol can. And if you guys do have super deep scratches and you're kind of picky, you can use this glazing and spot putty. It's basically like filler, and you let it harden and then sand it. I'm not going to stress about it that much. There's going to be a toolbox here that's going to cover most of it, because at some point in its life it had something riding on it and scraped it. But yeah, so that is the body color, is this gloss sage green. And for the wheels and the Gaucho emblems that go on the side, we are doing this metallic, they are calling it a dark copper. So it's got some metal flake in it. Hopefully it looks good. So yeah, what we did is we sanded everything with a maroon Scotch-Brite. Basically, this is polypropylene and it's molded. And when it comes out of the mold, it's real shiny and it's got mold release on it. So you definitely need to scuff it and then wash it down with Dawn. It degreases it. Try not to have greasy hands, otherwise your fingerprints will show up in the paint. You know, we're not looking for a car show quality, but we still want it to bond well, because nothing looks worse than when paint starts peeling off the ride-on, right? So we scuffed all that, washed it down, and then on the hood, it was so chalky that this is basically what's left off. It was just so dry. There's no oils or anything left in the paint. So we had to sand that, and then we scuffed it. Same thing for the front windshield area. We sanded it first, and then we scuffed it and washed it. So remember, guys, just take off the shininess. You know, you got to get a little bit of bite for the paint to adhere into. And then for all the little pieces that we did in matte black, we were lazy, I'll admit it. I have a sandblaster. We just put it in the sandblaster, 80 pounds, and just sandblasted everything. It was a perfect texture, and I'll go show you those. Okay guys, so here's our redneck paint booth. This is all of our matte black pieces, like the grill and footsteps and the mirrors and the rear bumper, which I butchered. It's got a crack in it anyways, so I didn't realize it, but it's got a missing part, and I put the paint on too heavy and it ran, I'll admit it. And then the dash we're doing in matte black too, and yeah. So that's it. This is our redneck paint booth. This is basically a hood vent that goes over your stove. Flipped it upside down and put some duct to it, and it goes out the wall into our woodshop area. And on the top, it's got pegboard with some like closet organizer shelf to raise it up so that we can spray and kind of get down towards the edges. So that's to control all of the overspray. So when you spray, there's all kinds of particles in the air, and when they land back down on it, it leaves it a rough surface. So this instantly sucks it down. It's going with gravity, sucking it in a funnel and out the tube. And then on the outside of the wood shop here, it just goes into a box, and we've got just a furnace filter on it. So it doesn't evacuate the fumes, but we're just doing rattle cans, but it definitely sucks out all the overspray. Works good, and it was like $6. So on this roll bar section that goes right on the base of the body, it's got a lot of black sun fade, so it's basically gray. What we're gonna try to do is take the heat gun and see if we can bring out some of the oils. If not, we'll paint it. So check it out and see if it works. Well, it definitely brought out some oils, and it looks better than that, huh? So I'm going to do some more here and see if it's going to work. Well, that definitely brought it back to life. You know, it saved you some time on painting, saved the environment from a little bit of volatile organic compounds, right? I'd say we can run that, you know. It's not terrible. And another step, the next step would be to spray on some Armor All, and that'll even bring out some more of that glossy black and take out some of that dry plastic look. All right guys, one last little clip here. So here is pre-assembly. We've got the tub mounted underneath the body. We're not gonna mount it yet, but I just wanted to show you guys all the parts that are involved in these Super Gauchos. And also a little clip of the custom bumper, because we didn't have one. The bottom tub here is actually cracked, so we used a Power Wheels bumper and fabricated a bumper mount, and it's super rigid. But here's the parts, guys. Check this out. What do you guys think of the color we chose? Antique copper, matte black. So we're still waiting for some little bits and pieces like the headlight lenses. We only had 3 of these, so we're gonna take the heat gun and see if we can do our little trick to that. We're not gonna buy 4 more of those. If we have them, we're gonna try to refurbish that. Rack and pinion back there. We are going to leave the orange. I kind of don't mind the orange accent. I think it looks pretty good. So we're going to leave the orange. Somebody can easily take that off, rear shocks. But other than that, guys, next video is going to be us putting this bad boy together and wiring up the 36-volt power source. Stay tuned. All right, so one of our hood hinges was broken, so to replace this pin, we're going to take a 2-inch roofing nail. We're going to cut the head off after we drill an 1/8-inch hole through the pin. And this guy will slide in there and basically replaces it.